end value management. Some call it end value analysis. Practically the same. There are three major terms or components that you need to understand. If you get them right, you should be good. Okay, these are the fundamental terms so far as the technique is concerned. So just get it. You have a project. Whenever you have a project, you build a budget, don't you? Now you incur costs, so you track actual cost. You have actual cost. When you have the budget, work hasn't started yet. So when you get into the execution phase, budget will be done at the planning phase. When you get into the execution phase, you start incurring cost, you start implementing the task. So you see some activities being performed, being completed. Some activities are supposed to be performed, but you may have issues. They may still be sitting down, not being performed. So you need to check those that are being performed, those that are supposed to be performed but not being performed, and you take action. This happens when you monitor your job. So this is part of monitoring and controlling. I call it gauging and acting. When you know this, you always want to gather information about the activities that you have performed. You want to gather information about the activities that you have not performed yet. You want to gather information about what is actually being done. Is it within the scope? Is it what you are supposed to do? You want to gather information about the activities that have been performed and tracking them to the planned cost. So you look at the actual cost and comparing them to the planned cost. Activity A is done. We're supposed to spend $50. We've already spent, we finished it. It's done, obviously. We spent $60. Activity F is done. We're supposed to spend 100 CDs. We spent 120. So you compare. When it's done, you get actual and you have a planned value to compare with. So we need to understand these ones: end value, planned value, actual cost. We have the budget. We have tasks in there that will track budget. Now, some of the tasks in there, when they have been performed, we call them budgeted cost of the work performed. Okay, so watch out. This is how come we put them in bold. Budgeted cost. So the cost of the work that was budgeted, the cost of the work that has been performed. So the budgeted cost, call it the planned cost of the work that has been performed. So activity A, please understand this. B, C. So you send OSTI to go and collect data. OSTI, you gave them these activities. At that measurement date, end value is actually done at some point. So if you have a proper cost management plan, it should tell you when you'll be performing your end value analysis. Are you doing them quarterly? Are you doing them every month? Do you have specific date that it should be done? It should be in your cost management plan. So once you have it, let's assume, according to the cost management plan, on the 8th of May, or let's say 30th of May, we are supposed to carry out our end value analysis. So look at the plan. By the end of 30th May, we're supposed to do A, B, C, D. So this is plan. These are the activities that we're supposed to do. Now, what was the budget? Planned budget. So planned budget would be PV, planned value. What is the end value? Explain it again. What is the actual? So Osti is been sent out to collect data. He has a plan, he has a target, he's targeting A, B, C, D. According to the plan, we're supposed to finish these ones. But when Osti went around, he's picking activities that have been performed. He checked A. A is 100% done. What was the planned value for A? Let's assume it's 50. Okay, so Osti will take A is already done. Planned value, we plan to spend 50 cedis. If it is done, we use a term completed. If it's completed, we use a term earned. Okay, so what you have completed, you have earned it. What is done has been earned. So we use this term earned value because it has been earned. So in project, the task that you have completed, we say that you have earned them. They have been earned. They are yours now. They've been done. Okay? So they've been earned. Use another word, they've been completed. That makes it easy, isn't it? Usually we use some words to generate some learning. If you say completed value, it's quite easy for you to understand. You know, it is the task that basically cost of the budgeted cost of the work that has been completed or performed. It makes it that easy. So you may bring in some other terms to generate some learning. So you learn something new. So it's been completed. This completed value. So it's been completed. So Osti is going round. He realized A is done. So A has been completed. But what do you record? We record still the budget. Okay, you've earned it. So we record the budget 50. It's been completed. C has been completed. 50 as well. End value will still be 50. So before you go, to make life easy, just put the planned value there because they are constant. So planned value, what was that value? The cost for B, planned cost 100, planned cost 100. You put these ones down. Now you go around to check whether they've been done, they've been earned. So you went around, C is done. So you record the 100, it's been done. You got here, D wasn't done. So D is planned to be performed, planned value 100, but has it been completed? No. Has it started? No. So 0. Level of completion, 0. Level of completion for C, 100%, 100%, 100%. So we have the full amount being earned. But here, 0. Osti will collect these information, data, if not be analyzed yet, so we call it data. Then he will check the actual. A, we planned 50, but how much did we spend? Let's say 55. B, we planned 50, but how much have we spent? Let's say 60. C, we planned 100, but how much have we spent? The 100. So we are good with C. D, we planned 100. How much did we spend? Yes, we haven't even started. That's how come it's 0. So remember this, when you have completed it, end value is 100%. You've earned the total amount. When it has not been completed, has not started, end value is 0. It hasn't been completed, hasn't even started. When you are halfway through the task, what will be the end value? 50%. So 50% done, end value is 50%. So if the amount is 100 and the end, you are halfway through, 50% end will be 50 cedis. Okay, that's what we use. So here will be 0 because we don't know. Once it has not been performed, we can't tell. Okay, so that is what we do. If you have this set of data, you could now analyze and know how you are performing. Does it make sense? So I was just using this for us to understand how we pick data, how we pick the planned value, end value, actual cost. Actual cost is quite straightforward, not difficult. Planned value is what you put down even before the task was actually done before it got started, before they started doing it? What was the plan when we were planning? The estimate that we gave, that is the planned value. Now, if it has been performed, execution. So this will even come at the planning phase. You won't get the end value at the planning phase. You get them at the, so they could ask you, the end values could be taken at what stage of the project? Initiation, planning, execution. Where? Execution. Because you get the end values when you start performing the task. Okay? Planned value is budgeted cost of the work scheduled, what we put down even before we started. End value is the tasks that we performed, the budgeted cost, we put them down. Actual is how much we actually incurred on them after performing them. Okay. So when your end value is zero, your AC is also zero. If it has not been performed, you can't know the actual cost. Great. So these are things I want you to understand. And once there's understanding, the rest will be a walk in the park. When you have this, you could calculate your EV and know exactly where the project stands. Now, what we do is to come up with indices. So we use some indicators to tell us where the project sits. Okay, so we could decide to go with these ones. Cost variance. What's the meaning of variance? Difference. We are using how to learn techniques. Difference. So you have cost variance, cost difference. So difference between your end value and your actual cost. So whenever you are doing your CV, still using learning techniques, the formula, you want to know how you are performing in terms of cost. We use a cost variance. The formula is EV minus AC. You can get this when the job is actually performed. So once we perform the job, we can tell how much we are spending, where we sit. Are we good or performing poorly in terms of cost performance? So we pick the end value, the job that has been performed and what we actually plan to spend on that. End value save is 100. How much did you spend on that? Say 110, which means we are over budget. So this would be minus 10. Please don't write 10. 100 minus 110 is not 10. 100 minus 110 is minus 10. Note this. I'm saying this because you have questions on this. And in the options, you have 10, you have minus 10. So you need to know, you calculate this, you have 10, but you need to know it's minus 10. And that 10 will be in the answer. Minus 2 will also be in the options. How about time? We use schedule variance, SV, to tell us about our schedule, our time. So cost variance is telling us about our cost. It shouldn't be difficult here. No magic here. Schedule variance is talking about time. Shouldn't be difficult. Schedule is tied to time. So if I want to know how we are faring in terms of time, I use a schedule variance, which will be EV minus PV. Okay, the C is connected to this C here. So always remember that when I'm doing my cost value is cost variance is EV minus AC. Schedule will be EV minus PV. So we decided to perform the job and job is done. We have done it up to that stage. Job is done. End value is around, based on the tasks that we performed, is around 200. This one, PV, what we're supposed to do is around 250. What are you doing? What does that mean? You are not doing more of the things you are supposed to do. So the jobs that you are supposed to perform at that measurement date, some of them have not been done. That's how come your end value is lower than the planned value. You are earning less than what you planned. You are completing less than what you planned. That makes it quite easy. You are completing less than what you planned to do. So this would be minus 50, means there's a problem. So when your schedule, when your variance is negative, it means is that there's a problem. When it's positive, it's good. Negative, nobody likes it. We all want positive, isn't it? So when it's negative, it's bad. When it's positive, it's good. Now, using learning how to learn to help you remember the formula. I know some people who change it. They are asked to calculate the schedule variance. They go AC minus EV. You get an answer, but you'll be wrong. So they'll give you the actual cost 100. They'll give you the EV 120. You calculate and you get minus 20. It will be in the options, but the actual formula is EV minus AC, so which is 120 minus 100. This will give you 20 positive. You switched it, so you got it wrong. So please know, how do you use the how to learn method to get this? We need to look at the trend. Looking at the formula is always the EV first. EV first. So when we are putting out the formula, we need to remember it's always the EV first. If it has to do with cost variance, is the AC, the C attached to the C in the CV. Okay, so it will be the EV first minus AC. Schedule variance will be the EV first minus the PV. So it's always the EV first. That's why it's called end value. So it's the EV first. Don't forget it. I hope you are jotting down these techniques, these tips, hacks. Now, if I come to index, index is like a ratio. Okay, so I shouldn't have a problem. If I know how to work out the CV, have the formula coming out of the CPI, which is cost performance index, telling us about your level of efficiency when it comes to your cost performance. Are you being more efficient when it comes to cost performance? Efficiency is more about time, it's more about cost. So how efficient are you with regards to your cost? How efficient are you with regards to your schedule? If you are talking about how efficient you are with regard to your cost, then you're looking at CPI. It's an indicator. Don't forget, we learned some indicators. We learned the leading indicator and lagging indicator. Okay, so you tell me where this one will sit. Is it a leading indicator or a lagging indicator? So CPI, all you do is remember it's EV first. So it's still between EV and AC. So EV first is a ratio. So introduce your division sign here. EV over AC. So variance is different. So you go with minus. Ratio, index is a ratio. So you use your divider or division sign. So it'll be EV divided by AC. Quite straightforward. So if I know this, I should remember this. If I know this, I should remember this. Okay. One is a ratio, the other one is more like a difference. If I know CV, SV is equal to, yes, go with me. SV is equal to EV minus what? Say it and you remember. Full learning, what you bring from a memory bank becomes stronger in your brain. EV minus
EV, PV.
Great. So if you want to turn this into an index, a ratio, if you want EV,
Divide, no.
EV over
EV,
PV. Great. EV over PV,
yeah.
that's it. So what it means is if I should remember this, this should come. What you have done now using the technique is to join the two networks. This is one bit of the network representing EV minus PV. There's another network being created now in your brain. If you do the scan, we'll see it. which is EV over PV for SPR. They are now connected in your brain. So this is connected to that. So once this is remembered, you are likely to remember this. Or if you remember this, you're likely to remember that one because it has been connected in your brain. And the technique you used is what made it connect. Okay? So if you did not use a technique, I'm showing you how your brain works. If you didn't use a technique to look out for these patterns, this is what would have actually happened. This would be a separate network in your brain as EI equal to EV over PV. Will be separate. Then the other one will be SV equal to EV minus PV, separate. You did not tie them. Looking at pattern, looking at where they connect. Because you did not do that, the brain wouldn't connect it. So it'll be separate. So when you remember this, you may not even remember the other one. This could be remembered, but this might not be remembered. Somebody will remember EV over EC and would be asked to calculate SV, and for SV, do a PV minus EV. So because it's not connected, but what you've done now, looking at pattern, it is connecting the two. So once this is remembered, this will be remembered because there's a pattern there. That's how you learn. So this has become a long-term memory in your head. No need to memorize it, okay? All right, so this is done. Is the amount of budget deficit surplus at a given point. You have some exercises, a measure of your cost performance. This is a measure of your schedule performance. We talked about it. This is a measure of schedule efficiency. Which one talks about efficiency? Is about the index. Okay, cost efficiency is about the CPI. This one is considered most critical EVA metric. You have a question on that. Which one is considered the most critical EVA metric? Is a CPI. The guy says why? Because when your project is running late, if you have a problem with your cost, it's difficult to catch. So you want to keep an eye on your CPI, on your cost. You're supposed to spend 200,000 on milestone F. You've already spent about 250,000. You've got 5 milestones to achieve. How do you get this money back? How do you get back on track? It's quite difficult. Get back on budget is quite difficult. When it's time, it's doable, not too difficult, like having cost issues. You have techniques you could actually use to techniques you can use to catch up, to get back on track. And those techniques will also might go and affect your budget. So you might want to look at the time and also look more at your cost. So we say that CPI metric is the most critical EVA. Please take note, you can have questions on that. Then we are asked to talk about calculate the variance at completion. That shouldn't be difficult. What is a variance? So the whole project, we have our budget for the whole project. I want to know, this is also a forecasting indicator. We want to know how much we would spend, whether we go over or under when the project is done, even though it's not done. We could pick the budget and do an estimate of the cost of the project based on our performance, based on things that we are seeing. We could project. So based on things that you are seeing, you could project how much their project will cost. So here we are telling you to be a prophet. So the project manager has got many names. I'll come to that later.